For this position
Right.
today, we are doing third base. Now is our segment, still sponsored by nobody. So nobody picked it up from last week, which is incredible. I thought it was really good last week, but I guess the
Oh
sponsors
yeah,
feel differently.
I got a call from Apple and
Hey, look, we need
Facebook.
someone.
I'm still
I'll tell you this. So I have my grandmother's a psychologist, and on one of my other podcasts, I was doing ad reads for BetterHelp, and she's like, they're terrible for this psychology. They're not real psychologists. They're not good about who they weed out and who they don't weed out. I'm like, all right, I don't really care. I'm just doing it. I'm just getting paid. So BetterHelp, if you guys want to come on as a sponsor, Vinny's Prospects Report can be sponsored by BetterHelp. We'll take it, or anyone, mattress firm. You want to send us a free mattress, whatever it is. But Vinny, take it away. Your prospect report for third base in this season.
So I tried to stick to the same number, so about 3 guys, and I don't want to beat around the bush. The first guy has to be Junior Caminero. I don't know if you know anything about him, but he is being donned as the right-handed Rafael Devers. The guy just hits the ball so hard, and it's beautiful to watch. He's got double plus power. The only problem is he's going to start the year in the minors, unfortunately. I was really hoping he would break camp, and I think there was some potential that he would, but it doesn't sound like the Rays are interested at the moment. But I mean, I really think he's going to force their hand. Junior Caminero, he's going around pick 232. It's hard to pay that price, and I don't think I'm going to, unfortunately. Just someone to watch out for. I think if you play in a fab league, he's one that maybe you take at your last pick or something like that. I doubt he's going to be on the waiver wire. Somebody's probably going to pick him up, so you're probably going to have to draft him if you want him. But definitely has game-changing and fantasy-changing power. I mean, we're talking 80 grade raw power potentially, and with a good hit tool. So Junior Caminero is my first prospect that I want to touch on.
And with that, you talked about the call up. They changed the date, right, with when it counts as a year of eligibility, and we know the Rays really care about that with the eligibility years. They want to get as many eligibility years as possible. That's how they've always run things, because they're probably going to end up trading him by the time he hits his prime. So that is earlier though than it was in the past, so that could help you in that scenario.
Yeah, it's a good call out. My next one is Colt Keith. So he just signed a deal with the Tigers right this offseason, keeping there for the next 6 years. It looks like he's going to play second base for now, but he is third base eligible, and I think that's where he's going to end up long term. So I'm going to call him a third baseman until he doesn't have that eligibility, but I think he will keep it. Colt Keith is going at pick 340 right now. That is way too low. Rami, he's locked into a starting job. He hits the ball extremely hard. He's got plus power with the potential for double plus. He's got an at least average hit tool. Could be better. He's never had a K rate that really went above 20%. His walk rate's around 20%. He's a very mature hitter for his age. The Tigers are getting better. They're sneaky good. I like a lot of the moves that they've made.
Okay, sneaky good is pushing it, but they're getting better. Fine, continue.
I'll push back on that. I'll have a whole Tigers episode.
What's their over under win total this year?
Well,
I mean, I'll look at Vegas. I'm taking the under. All right.
Okay. I'll have to check on it, but I like a lot of the things that this team's doing. I mean, the outfield is looking phenomenal with Torkelson finally coming through. I mean, I like a lot of the things that they're doing. So the fact that he's locked in,
and they have Jung's brother, right? Like,
Jace Jung.
Jace Jung.
The fact that he's going at 340 though is just beyond me, because I mean, I'm taking him over Junior Caminero, if I'm being honest, just because, like, I know he's going to play. Like, he's going to start the year as their second baseman, and he's third base eligible, so I have second and third. That's huge. I don't know why Junior Caminero is going over 100 pick higher. That just makes absolutely no sense to me. I love Junior Caminero, but I absolutely love Colt Keith at that price too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first I've heard of him, but I'm going to, take your word for it on this one. That's why this is the prospect report. This is all you.
Yeah, so you'll have to.
I wrote his name down, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to look into that.
Not Keith Colt Keith. He's got the two first names, so oftentimes
I got him. Colt Keith.
People, yeah, I'm just saying, remember that name, and we're gonna have a Tigers talk soon. Okay,
I'm ready for it.
And then my last one is Tyler Black with the Milwaukee Brewers. He definitely was more intriguing before this trade with the Baltimore Orioles. Right now, because the Milwaukee Brewers have Joey Ortiz, who I think is going to slot in as their third baseman. The reason why I'm calling out Tyler Black here is because if Adames gets traded, or if Terang underperforms, or if anyone gets injured, Tyler Black is the next guy up. He's not the greatest defender, but we don't care about that in fantasy. He's got good
No, we don't.
OBP skills. No, he's got good OBP skills and terrific speed. He stole 47 bases in 84 games at AA last year. So that's very good speed. He really just needs the playing time. And the speed could be extremely helpful, again, from a third base position that doesn't typically offer a lot of speed. So Tyler Black, he's going around pick 415. Feels like a good deal if you're in a deep league, because again, one of these three things has to happen. Adames gets traded, Terang underperforms, or there's some injury somewhere. I think it's very likely that at least one of those three things happen. And I think it's likely that Tyler Black gets quite a bit of run this year.
You mentioned the Tigers and you mentioned us not caring about defense. Something that was going around social media this past week was that Javi Baez had the exact same WAR as Kyle Schwarber. Did you see that?
I did.
Yes,
I did.
That was a big social media topic. And so a lot of it is because of Schwarber's defense. When you're looking at a guy like Schwarber, because I wanted to ask you about this, how much stock do you put into that? He bats 200, we get it, but he's going to get on base still, and he's still going to hit 40 home runs. This guy, to me, he's frustrating if you're watching him day to day, but to just at the end of the week, you look at his numbers and you're like, oh my God, the numbers are there. He's getting on base. He's hitting home runs. He's driving guys in. To me, I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I don't either. And I think, you mentioned it, I think briefly, right? Baez is just a great defender. He had a defensive value of 12.5 last year, which is just phenomenal.
Exactly.
Baez did. So that's where he gets his
and
value
Schwarber
from.
was an awful defender.
Horrible. Yeah. And so
Yep.
I think that question just depends on how you want to build your team. Most people are going to take Schwarber because left field is a much, not a very difficult position to play. I mean, obviously he's not playing it very well, and shortstop is not an easy position to play defense with. So I think it depends on how you built your team, but I think most people are going to take Schwarber just in general.